Number 8. The swollen head. Hair dyeing at the home or the salon is a fairly common practice, but things didn't really play out well for a 19-year-old French student who considered getting a routine hair makeover done. In 2018, things took a tragic turn when Estelle had what can only be described as an awful experience. Instead of leaving streaks of color onto her hair, the hair color product that she had picked from a local supermarket nearly killed her. She was fighting to breathe, not because of rashes or a runny nose, but a serious allergic reaction. Her head was swollen up to the size of a melon. After reading the directions, she did run a patch test, but she confessed to having it on for just 30 minutes rather than the standard 48 hours required. Estelle, after using her hair dye, sensed itching on her scalp right away, and almost immediately her head started to swell. She took antihistamines in an attempt to reduce the swelling, but her head was swollen to about 24.8 inches the following morning. Just to remind you, the average circumference of any person's head is approximately 22 inches. She reported being unable to breathe and that a swollen head felt like a light bulb. A chemical called paraphenylenediamine was found in the product, which is frequently used in hair colors, particularly deeper tints, henna tattoos, dark-colored cosmetics, black rubber, gasoline, and other products include PPD. While PPD is not generally hazardous, it might cause significant health problems if you are allergic to it, and sadly, Estelle was. According to New York dermatologist Deborah Jailman, the signs of an allergic response may vary from mild itching and rashes to life-threatening anaphylactic shock. She elaborated that swelling of the cheeks and tongue, breathlessness, and a dip in blood pressure are some of the more severe symptoms. When Estelle's tongue started to swell, she hurried to the emergency unit, where she received an adrenaline shot and was admitted to the hospital for the night. Fortunately, she recovered completely, but she used her experience to warn others about the dangers of PPD and DIY hair dyeing. If you are not allergic to PPD, it isn't harmful. But how do you know for sure? All you have to do is the patch test, and do it right. Hair dyes have a very minimal amount of PPD in them, up to 2%, and the one Estelle used apparently contained only 1%. However, unless you want your face to swell up, or maybe something worse to happen, it's wise to be a little patient with the much-needed patch test, especially if you're uncertain about having an allergy. Number 7. Brain damage after eating pretzel. This year, a Las Vegas judge awarded $29.5 million to the family of a woman who suffered brain damage after consuming a peanut butter pretzel. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $30 million. In 2013, the jury further indicated that the healthcare agency that assisted Chantal Giacalone treated her carelessly. Giacalone, who suffered from a critical peanut allergy, was 27 at the time of the tragedy. Chantal was modeling at the Mandalay Bay South Convention Center when a friend brought her some yogurt with a peanut butter-infused pretzel on top. Upon taking a big mouthful, Giacalone went into an anaphylactic shock and suffered a cardiac arrest 2 times in a very short span. The Medic West ambulance services were called for soon after and administered first aid, but they made a grave mistake. They chose the wrong mode of administering the drug, which could have revived her. In the trial, Christian Morris, Jacqueline's lawyer, stated that the woman lost all oxygen to her brain for a few minutes. As per Morris, no physician on board the Medic West ambulance had IV epinephrine and adrenaline therapy for severe allergic responses, which was needed by law, and Giacalone was instead administered intramuscular IM epinephrine. Here's a little medical explanation. When a patient develops anaphylaxis or an allergic shock, the IV or intravascular version of medicine is necessary for immediate action. It takes much longer for the drug to be absorbed via the muscles into the bloodstream, so it's always better to get it straight into the blood vessels. But the choice of using an IM shot jeopardized every minute of Chantal's existence. Morris, the lawyer, felt that her life was put at the mercy of a corporation that prioritized money over human care ever since she stepped into the ER. Giacalone ended up being a quadriplegic for life and resides in the dining room of her family. She can only interact with her eyes and can only be fed via a tube. Giacalone's experience is terrible and frightening, and it may leave people wondering how someone with a peanut allergy could suffer such extreme brain damage. Peanut reactions are most prevalent among children. Exposure to peanuts in such children may induce symptoms like vomiting, coughing, breathlessness, and rashes. Anaphylaxis, a serious and life-threatening allergic response, cannot be ruled out. While in most minor cases, an IM would have been sufficient, Jack alone required intravenous epinephrine ASAP. Improper medical treatment led to an outgoing and ambitious model, turning into a paralyzed and bedridden patient who requires constant care and attention. Number 6. Face cream allergy. After an unusual allergic reaction to a fancy lotion that left her whole face swollen and appearing like a beetroot, a lovely blonde's ideal vacation was, to say the least, wrecked. Katie Byrne claims her ideal vacation in 2015 was shattered when her face ballooned to almost twice its usual size, and out came popping large red blisters and dents within minutes of using the 30-pound face lotion. On her way to the vacation resort of Hard Rock Cancun, alongside her boyfriend Connor, the 26-year-old personal assistant from Dagenham, Essex, had bought herself the 30-pound Clarins Cosmetics cream on their flight from Heathrow. On the following day of their luxurious 2,000-pound vacation, she applied the Beauty Flash Balm and was terrified when the costly treatment left her face burning like it was put on fire. Katie had splurged out on the pricey Clarins moisturizer, set to appear her best after saving for a year on the trip of a lifetime. The compact travel package included a makeup cleanser, eye cream, and Beauty Flash cream to illuminate the skin. Katie had applied the Beauty Flash Balm before going out to dinner with Connor on the second day of the vacation. Connor was surprised to find Katie's face appearing bright red and swollen only a few moments into their nice sit-down supper. She removed the cold compress from her forehead, which she applied to reduce the ache, and discovered 2 large dents right where the cream had been smeared. Her room was visited by an emergency doctor, and she was provided an injection to deal with the allergic response. Katie was stuck with a vibrant red face for the rest of her trip, giving the appearance of a severe sunburn. She called Clarins after arriving back, and they agreed to examine her response. Katie received an apology from Clarins for the cream that left her appearing like a tomato. Number 5. Hospital food gave allergy. Kayla Bellotti was taken to Hunterdon Medical Center in New Jersey for the treatment of a severe allergic response to a dish, only to have a second bout of allergy caused by the hospital's supply of regular food for patients. The trouble began on Kayla's 15th birthday. On August 7, 2019, the teen started suffering a rapidly escalating anaphylactic response after a late meal at a neighborhood eatery. She was transported to Hunterdon's emergency department after receiving 2 epinephrine doses in a row. After the ER team stabilized her, it was decided that she would be kept overnight for observation. According to the complaint, Hunterdon's meal protocol calls for patients and family members to order meals from catalogs in the rooms. Kayla's mother took the initiative to order their next meal. Whenever Bellotti phoned the food service department, she explained her child's allergies, highlighted their seriousness, and was repeatedly given assurance that the food would be harmless. On August 8th, Kayla ate 1 spoonful of the veg chili sent with a message stating that it was dairy and egg-free. As per the lawsuit, she started to suffer signs of yet another anaphylactic response almost immediately. Her tongue ached and her throat swelled, making her feel more ill. It was strange and frightening. Kayla and her dad didn't think the hospital lunch was to blame at first. Instead, they assumed she had acquired sensitivity to another chili component. On the other hand, Kayla's doctor advised them to request and study the whole ingredient list for the chili. When they did, the parents found that a meal had been substituted without their knowledge. Why? Because the dairy and egg-free chili Bellotti had requested was unavailable. All the necessary triggers were present in the chili that was finally served. Furthermore, even though the hospital had a near-miss system in which incidents like this are intended to be registered to avoid such circumstances in the future, the family's attorneys discovered there was really no trace in this case. For Kayla today, remembering the hospital stay still leaves her reeling from anxiety after the dreaded turn of events. She hopes that the lawsuit will reform food safety standards in a hospital setup and prevent any further incidents like hers. Number 4. Vaccine allergy. Vaccines have been around for generations. The medical fraternity believes that the benefits of vaccination outweigh the risks. If any, Here is an incident where an uncommon adverse response to the coronavirus vaccine did not change a Victorian woman's faith in vaccinations. Annie Tall, 32, was diagnosed with allergies as a youngster and questioned her doctor and sister, a nurse practitioner, as to whether she could get the vaccine. In late May this year, Tall got her immunization done at Archie Browning Center. She waited the required 15 minutes after the treatment. That's when she started to feel somewhat scratchy in her mouth, around the 8th minute. She had just been out of the facility for less than a minute when she began to feel ill. Tall went back to Archie Browning and was transferred to a private room, where staff confirmed she was suffering from an allergic reaction. Tall was then directed to a Victoria immunologist to see if she could get a second vaccination dose. She was thereafter completely vaccinated using a procedure known as graded dose administration, wherein the total dosage is divided into smaller amounts and given over some time with strict supervision. She was also requested to participate in a research study with persons who had an adverse response to the coronavirus vaccination. Dr. Michael Benusik, an Island Health medical officer, affirms that only a tiny percentage of patients may have a reaction to the vaccination. Although being one of the few who suffered reactions, Tell said she is relieved to have had all of her shots done. So far, we've covered several instances of how allergies have gone horrifically wrong. Do you have any life-threatening allergies? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you give us a like and share, and subscribe to our channel to hear more stories like these in the future. Number 3. Bedbugs ruin family holiday. A mother alleges that a nasty, crawly infestation at the luxury resort stay left her family with bedbug sores and with her kid stung in the face. Sarah Finch, 33 years old at the time, planned a last-minute getaway in November 2021 for her husband and her girls at a 5-star resort in Mexico. However, she claimed she was isolated in her bedroom for a portion of the trip due to a serious allergic response to bedbug bites. The trip was ruined, she added, and the family had to spend more than £2,000 for alternative lodging to conclude their 10-night stay, according to reporters. TUI, the travel operator, stated that although an early inquiry showed no evidence of bugs, it was still looking into the family's concerns. Sarah was ill, and her spouse couldn't sleep because he was so afraid to bring the bugs back home. Their 1-year-old suffered the greatest discomfort, bitten all over her face and hands, which were the only areas exposed since she slept in baby clothes. To relieve the itching, she was prescribed medicine. Sarah needed an antihistamine injection since her bites were so painful. She was constantly dizzy and wheezy. Her 4-year-old was upset throughout the Christmas season due to scars on her arms and face. Sarah and a spouse traveled back to Swansea with their kids, Lily 4 and Charlotte 1, within a span of a few days. According to Sarah, the bed condition was beyond comprehension, with the whole bed supposedly crawling with bugs. She alleges she suggested the hotel to either find another room or fumigate the one they were in, but no plans were made. Until a replacement room could be obtained, the kids slept in the reception area. They met 12 other visitors who had the same issue, according to reports. They brought it up with the TUI representative the next day. Sarah needed to visit the hotel doctor since she couldn't even walk at one point, and got an antihistamine injection and was asked to stay in the room. She said that the family finally paid to relocate to Planet Hollywood, a $180 cab trip away. They had to package and separate all of their vacation clothing once they returned home, hot wash everything individually to eliminate any bugs which may have traveled home with them. It turned out to be a really horrendous holiday. Number 2. Snacks turn deadly. The family of an adolescent girl who died due to a severe allergic response hopes that her death would save other young people from dying prematurely of undiscovered allergies. Ellen Raphael from Blythe had consumed snacks knowing that she had been allergic to one of the components. The 16-year-old passed away in a hospital in October 2019 after suffering brain damage due to anaphylaxis. Her family had established a foundation in her honor, describing her as a kind and generous girl. Delight, Ellen's mother, hoped that her daughter's demise would lead to a nationwide program that allows allergy information to be coupled with asthma programs for children. Her mother said that her daughter's asthma was very well managed and that she had recently had a checkup sometime before the reaction. Ellen, who has a twin sister named Abby, fell unexpectedly ill on the 31st of October 2019 after eating chips from an Asian store. She spent 4 days at Newcastle's Royal Victoria Infirmary before passing away. Her organs were donated as per her parents' choice. Ellen's Gift of Hope, a charity dedicated to helping disadvantaged children in Northumberland, Newcastle, and North Tyneside, was founded in her honor. Her sister's middle name is Hope. The teen's ambition was to join NASA as a space scientist. Ellen had intended to attend the National Space Academy in Leicestershire to pursue space engineering. Her remains were shot into space to honor her love for astronomy. Number 1. Eyelash extensions. A lady from Ottawa, Canada, had a severe allergic response to eyelash extensions in 2018, and she went on to warn other ladies about the dangers of common cosmetic practice. Isabel Edith Kunn, a nursing student, claimed she had a fresh pair of eyelash extensions put on, and 2 days later, she discovered that her eyelids had swollen to the extent of almost shutting her eyes completely. Kunn asserted that she had never experienced an allergic response before in her life. She was also accustomed to having a beautician attach lashes one by one with an adhesive for every few weeks since a year. She noticed her eyelids started to bulge after the procedure, so she questioned the beautician whether they were using the same type of adhesive, assuming that she was probably allergic to the gum being used. Within the next few hours, things got worse. She was admitted to the hospital and given an antihistamine and steroid intravenously to control the swelling. She was sent home with instructions to continue the antihistamine pills till her health improved. According to Kunn, a great majority of adverse responses to eyelash extensions are caused by the glue, as stated on the Beauty Bar's website. The bulk of eyelash adhesives are composed of cyanoacrylates, which function as immediate adhesives. Patients with moderate to severe allergic responses to cyanoacrylates have been described by many doctors. Sarah Dew, the founder of the Sarah Beauty Salon where Kunn stopped by, stated that, although she could not provide allergy testing to all the customers, she would do so if they requested it. She refused to comment on Kunn's or any of her other customers' experiences, but she did say that it's impossible to know what prompted such response to a basic and common cosmetic procedure. With that, we have the end of another list of unexpected turns of events. Which of these listings shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.